MedBix Webcast is a new kind of healthcare media channel to break the silo mentality and foster interdisciplinary thinking. Our mission is to fill that gap and to create a curiosity through different lenses, tapping the passion that guided the historical figures in medicine and bringing present-day groundbreaking research to the front lines. We interview physicians and leaders in the industry about present-day healthcare challenges on our live programming. Welcome to the MedBix Webcast. This is Ramana Anamaraju. I'm not Albert Einstein, but Einstein used to play a violin. Okay. Now my guest speaker today is going to play cello. It is a very interesting. So today my podcast is all about I'm going to interview a doctor from Louisville, Kentucky. His name is Dr. Venu Vemuri. Probably his family is from same neck of woods, so same as I'm from. So we're going to talk about a little bit about back pain. Back pain I came to know back pain. 65 million people suffer back pain in this country. It's unbelievable. That is a constant. Some may be periodic, but it happens in the 65 million people. It's almost more than 1/4 of the population. In the worldwide, 500 million people have back pain. More than 500 billion people have a back pain. Once in a lifetime, they have it. One way or the way, one time or other time, they have the back pain. So let us talk with this Dr. Vemuri. Is from Louisville, Kentucky. He's a spine surgeon, and he's also he does a minimally invasive surgeries. And then let's talk with him about this back pain and his treatments. And let me bring him to the front stage. In the main stage. Dr. Vemuri, welcome to the MedBix Webcast.
Hi, Ramana. Thank you very much for having me.
Tell me a little bit background of yours. Maybe I did not explain everything well, but please let our audience know what is your background is, personal and professional background.
Yes, thank you. So I do, like you said, I live in Louisville, and I am a spine surgeon. And in 2021, I founded my own spine care company called miispine. And the focus of my practice is to provide comprehensive care for back and neck pain. And this includes everything from the initial workup to providing medications, injections, physical therapy, alternative treatments, and even surgery as a last resort. So we can sort of do the whole episode of care under one roof, the miispine roof. And so I'm very proud of what we're building, and the hope is that this will become a model for future clinics to provide a option outside of corporate medicine and the hospital system, where most surgeons now seem to be employed. It's to give people another option, the patients, not only the doctors, but the patients, an option for seeking out spine care outside of the corporate and hospital walls, in a center which is focused on patient care and great outcomes. So that's my business. Personally, I have a lovely family. I have a wife and 2 kids, and we live in Louisville. We also have a second home sort of in Switzerland, because my wife is from Switzerland, so we travel there frequently, and we'll be going there next month. And so my in-laws live there, and we love visiting that beautiful country. Obviously, I play the cello. I started out before going into medicine as a cellist. I have a bachelor's and a master's degree in cello, and after going to med school, I continued to play. I played at my med school graduation and played some gigs here and there. But then as my practice got busy, it became hard to focus on playing. So I kind of let it fall by the wayside. And recently, though, during the pandemic, I started to play more. So here I am playing more and practicing more. And so I'm happy to be here and happy to talk about spine care.
Let me ask you a question on spine care, the back pain. Do you see increasing spine care, the back pain is increasing nowadays? Or what are the reasons you think the back pain is a bigger problem now? Just the general causes is because we are spending more time on the before computers, or what do you think of the increase in the amount of back pain among population?
Yeah, so I'm not. So you had mentioned some numbers, but I think what's more shocking is that 90% of people will have at least one episode of back pain in their lifetime. Now, luckily, 90% of those people will resolve that issue, and it may or may not come back. There's only a small percentage, maybe 10 to 20%, that have chronic issues with the back. But when you ask, why are we seeing this? Why are we seeing increased numbers? I think we are seeing increased numbers, and there's a big reason. The big reason is that our population is aging, and we're staying more healthy as we age. And the baby boomer generation, they want to stay active. So as they age and their knees give out, their hips give out, their shoulders give out, and their spines give out, we see an increase in orthopedic surgeries being performed to keep people active so that they can enjoy their retirement. They call it the silver tsunami. It's this wave of boomers that are hitting. It already started a few years ago, and it's going to continue over the next 10 years. They're hitting retirement age, and they're hitting, age 70, and they are going to be demanding healthcare more and more, because obviously as we get older, we demand more healthcare. So that's a big reason. The other reason I tell people is, look, we all have a spine, and all of our spines are aging, and because we're living to 80 years of age now, all of us eventually are going to have problems with their back. So I told the marketing team once, they asked me, well, who should we focus on to market your practice? I said, anyone with a spine.
Interesting. What kind of a treatments you offer? I am not that familiar with the treatments for all the back pain, chronic back pains. What are the treatments available for the general population for the back pain?
Well, I think a lot of the things that we start off with are medications, muscle relaxers. There's some nerve agents that can help people with a nerve pain going down their arm or leg. We have physical therapy. We rely a lot on physical therapy. I order a lot of physical therapy. In fact, I have my own physical therapy practice within my own practice. And our therapist specializes in people with chronic pain and back pain. And then we move sort of in this scale, this stepwise, progression. If those things aren't working, we may try some interventional pain treatments, and that's just another word for injection. So there's a variety of injections, most of which include steroids, although they don't have to have steroids, which can be very helpful for giving people relief for a long time, maybe not permanently, but maybe for 3 or 4 months. And that can maintain a lot of people. We have a lot of patients. In fact, today I spent the whole day doing injections. And then finally, for the last resort, there's surgeries. I think everybody has a gut reaction when they think of their spine and spine surgery. And there's a lot of misconceptions out there about spine surgery. I understand why that is. People are scared. They hear stories that, oh, that doesn't work. You shouldn't have surgery. And people come and they tell me this every day. And so I just, I listen very carefully, and I tell them, look, that might be true, but first of all, very few people actually need spine surgery. That's number one. Number two, if you do need spine surgery, we are working as a field to get better at picking the right surgeries that will provide the best outcome. Now that's a continuing problem and challenge for spine specialists. And we discuss this all the time. I'm on a LinkedIn community that discusses these things every day, and it's very interesting to hear people from around the world. So that's the progression of things that we do. It's not all surgery. I would say only maybe 10 to 15% of my patients need surgery. Most people, they don't need surgery. And then once they have surgery, one of the things that is it's a matter of fact, it's that they may require another surgery in the future. I always tell patients it's like this. If you have a knee replacement and you have the right knee done, and then all of a sudden your left knee goes bad, you wouldn't consider this knee replacement a failure. You would just, I think, reason that, oh, my left knee now is bad. That's bad luck. Too bad for me. Now I need this one replaced, and you have to go through that surgery and recovery. If I do a lumbar fusion on you and 10 years later you come back and you need a fusion above that, I think a lot of people think that maybe the surgery failed. But you have to realize the spine has multiple parts. It has multiple joints, multiple discs. So it's inevitable as we get older, or as I tell patients who might be offended by the ageism, or telling them they're getting older, I just say you're having too many birthdays. So the fact that we're getting older, having birthdays, can mean that other levels can go bad, and that's why we have to sometimes go back and do another surgery to do another level. It doesn't mean the surgery failed. It just means that that's just life, and that's because we're living longer and we want to be more active.
You offer a lot of diagnostics, like including MRI, physical therapy treatment, and then surgeries. And then also I saw in your website something interesting. You offer meditation and yoga to manage the chronic pains. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Yeah, so I've practiced yoga for many years, and I do it for my own back pain. So I'm a big believer in the practice of yoga. So it's something that we're trying to incorporate in our physical therapy space actually I have a patient who teaches yoga, and we're planning on having my patients come in to do sort of a gentle yoga for their specific needs, because not everybody can get into all the poses. So we need to modify poses and things like that. But I'm a big believer that the strengthening, the breathing work, and the stretching that yoga provides is very beneficial for the back.
The question, that is right now, people like you who are specialists, and then outside of the hospital, healthcare system, surviving on your own, independent practice are not easy to survive nowadays. How you are managing, and in what way is surviving? That is surviving. That's a big lesson to all the independent practitioners there. Could you expand on that one?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that. That's actually my biggest passion. So my biggest passion is trying to keep doctors independent. I get on the soapbox a lot, and I get in trouble for it because hospitals are, in most communities, very large employers, and they're very important to communities. I understand that. But the reality, and what most doctors won't say, is that these hospitals, or as I call them, big hospitals, they're bankrupting Americans. There's stories across the country where you can see, just recently, there's a case in Minneapolis, Alina Health. They recently stopped a policy where they were refusing treatments on patients who had a balance of $4,500 or more. Okay, so you have to realize these hospitals are charity organizations. They're nonprofits. They get tax benefits from the U.S. government, from the IRS, for being charitable organizations. Yet they're refusing care to people who have a balance with them. That's not very charitable. In Toledo, Ohio, they passed a local ordinance to pay off the medical debt of their citizens. Okay. So when I think of hospitals and the fact that they have such a control of they really have very little competition. They don't pay any taxes. They employ a lot of doctors. The reason they do that is 80 to 90% of all healthcare dollars come from the doctor's pen, or these days the doctor's click, right? So doctors are the ones that are ordering tests, they're ordering surgery, they're ordering procedures, they're ordering scans. And so by owning the doctors, and you see this huge wave in the last 20 years where now probably 60, or it's definitely over 50%, but probably more like 60 to 70% of physicians are now either employed by a hospital or a corporation like United Healthcare. So to answer your question, that is a very daunting field to play in if you're an independent doctor. But I think it's critical that me and people like myself continue to fight that those forces, because if we want to bring healthcare costs down, look, Ramana, the U.S. healthcare spending is approaching 20% of GDP. This is leaps and bounds above any other developed nation in this country. And what do we get for that? Yes, we have excellent centers where you can get excellent care if you have money. But if you look at the whole population, we have the worst outcomes of any developed nation, yet we pay the most. Why is this? Yes, you can complain about insurance companies. They are a factor for sure. But the number one factor is big hospitals and their inflated prices. So I'm not going to change the world with my practice and whatever I preach until I die. But I hope that I can make a dent and provide a lower cost option for healthcare, at least spine care, that's outside of the hospital system. Now that spine care is moving to outpatient surgery centers, and I can do a lot of surgeries, not all of them, but I can do a lot in the surgery center. This is very exciting because it takes these cases, which cost sometimes double, if not triple, in the hospital, and brings them to a surgery center where they can be done safely, and I think with excellent customer service and the same results, if not better, especially lower infection rates, okay? They can be done better for a lower cost. That's good for the healthcare system.
I agree no more. I mean, a lot of physicians agree with you. In fact, American healthcare system is a paradox. You increase it, the spending is going up, the quality of care is going down, no question. You're a true advocate. And then I think, it puzzles me how hospitals can reduce the cost. You're giving a thief a key and say, hey, don't watch the money. It is just unbelievable how the healthcare system, unless it is addressed at the top level, it is a policy level, it has to be this. If this problem is not solved, America is going to go bankrupt, and this healthcare is going to affect the other systems like a defense, education, everything is going to be affected. I agree no more with you. Truly, you're taking a great cause and also a great fight. In fact, it's not easy surviving against that major forces against you, but you're doing it, and you're a great example. Dr. Vemuri, I'm going to present a topic about the plastic surgery, a little bit different field from than you are, and then after that you come back and play for us your cello, and love to hear. I was listening before the broadcast, and it's really beautiful. And then guys, listen to. So I'm going to do some. You and me can watch together. There's do together. There's a presentation. You're free to jump in anytime you like. So let me bring you to the side. Okay. So this is I'm going to do. Dr. Vemuri is from Louisville, Kentucky, spine surgeon. I'm going to talk about. You want to look beautiful, understand this man. That's a very provocative statement I did. But let me tell you, this is a mathematics of the plastic surgery. That is the topic, actually. In 2005, there was a contest in Korea, beauty pageant. And then the judges were surprised to see the contestants. They look exactly similar. They not only they look same, but you and me, I'm an Indian, they think all the Koreans look same, or Koreans think all Indians look same. But actually the Korean press said that not only they look similar, they look eerily similar, creepy, eerily similar, because the reason was, there is a reason to it, is they all went to this plastic surgeon. Is a Gangnam Golden Ratio plastic surgery in Busan, Korea. My brother used to work there from Canada. He used to build nuclear reactors there. But they went to the same plastic surgeon in Gangnam. Gangnam is a guy, Psy, that he made a very popular music. So the Gangnam Golden Ratio, this is a real clinic in Busan. They all went to the similar clinics and this kind of clinics, and they want to look like a Hong Kong model. And everybody, all the contestants, when they asked for the same woman, and they all look the same. That's as you know, Korea is the plastic surgery capital, so they all look the same. It's a stunningly, even a Korean press could not take it. Korean, they investigated further about it and then said it is a scary thing. But actually, what is that? How do they do the plastic surgery? Is that there is a divine number, a ratio. If you wanted to get a luscious lips for people, what they do is it is called a golden ratio. They follow 1 to 1.6. That's a ratio. The lower lip is, say, the upper lip is 1 centimeter, and then lower lip should be 1.6. That proportionality you have to do. That's a beauty standard. If there's some kind of aesthetics come out of that, people come look beautiful because of that ratio. So if you maintain the ratio, not only in the lips wise, you have to maintain, that not only in the face, you can do the entire face, upper lip, lower lip, eyes, and everything, you can do that. So it came from a Greek sculptor, is a Phidias, Phidias or Phidias, they call him. It's a golden ratio. They call it, it's basically, I wanted to go back and explain to you a little bit about that ratio, golden ratio. You know that 1 to 1.6, that's a ratio. 1 to 1 is like this, and 1 to 1.16 is like this. That is that golden ratio. I tell you why that is special number. But that if you maintain that number across the body, all the symmetries, and then you're supposed to look beautiful, you come out beautiful. That's what the contention is. So golden ratio upper, they follow the same thing entire body. So Phidias came from phi. Actually, the golden ratio they call phi because it came from the Greek sculptor Phidias, and he has a statue. It actually follows the golden ratio. Is a from the novel to the statue, from novel to the top is a 3 feet, and then from novel to the foot is about 3.6, which is the golden ratio. If you do that, it follows the golden ratio. So that came from there. So actually, you can AI design the human body. You can extrapolate the golden ratio or extrapolation into the entire body, and the AI can do that. And they did that. And here is a perfect body. They found out is a Helen Mirren, actress Helen Mirren is a golden ratio. She has a perfect body. They found out. That's a little funny, but they found out that Helen Mirren. I don't know how she allowed all the entire body to measure, but she did. So what is that year? This story starts in year 1100 AD. Okay, is a story begins the Leaning Tower of Pisa in Italy. That's where the story starts. Actually, the beginning of the beauty. What is that connection between the beauty and the mathematics? His name is Leonardo Pisa, Italy. His name is, they used to call him a Fibonacci. Later on, he is named as a Fibonacci in Italy. They used to call whichever the city you're from, Leonardo Pisa. He's from Pisa, the city of Pisa in Italy. It's a very famous now. Leaning Tower is there. So he was born in 1170, right 1,000 years after Jesus Christ was born. So he died in 1240. And he was a young man. While he was young, his father was a merchant. He was a merchant. He was traveling to Africa to collect the goods and then do the trading post. He used to go to the so he used to take a Fibonacci, his young son, with him to the Africa from Portofino to Annaba in Algeria. That's a 200-mile distance as a sea. So they used to go there and stay there 6 months or 1 year, and they go back. That is a big thing during the 1100 years. So they used to do the trade. The Italians used to sell silk and wine, and then while Arabians used to go to India, bring the gold and silver, pearls, spices. They used to bring and sell to the Indians. Never came to Africa, but actually Africans, the Arabians, they used to go to India and then they bring all the stuff to Africa and then used to sell to Italy, to Europe. That's what is a trading post. the wine is there. You see the wine. They used to sell wine to the Arabians, and they used to resell anywhere. There's a trading post there in Anaba. So he used to travel with his father, the Fibonacci. Okay, that was traveling is always exciting, and you learn a lot of new things in traveling. Dr. Vemuri is in Switzerland. Albert Einstein, his wife is from Switzerland. Albert Einstein actually became a citizen of Switzerland. So, traveling as always opens the mind. So what he found out is Fibonacci found out a currency exchange. You need to pay whatever the rubles or money you have to pay. So the Italians used to manage with the Roman numerals. You on the C in the left side, they're letters basically, the Roman numerals. For example, 99,998, you see on the right side, that is a long letters you have to represent. 99,999, you see the letters that represent. Because if you want to buy 100,000 pearls, you need to measure, right? So there was a mathematics existed before in the Roman Empire. So Fibonacci basically he knows the Roman mathematics, Roman numerals. So he was they're doing a currency exchange through Roman numerals. But while he's traveling, Fibonacci is a very curious man. This guy, young man, what he did was he found something surprising in the way the Arabs are doing the numbers. The Arabs are doing the trade. Among themselves, they're following some kind of a new mathematics. That was surprising to. It was he found one element up there. It is called zero. He saw that is a surprise. He could not understand what the zero is doing, and all the symbols are. So they are from Hindu Arabic numerals. Actually, Hindu numerals. They made it Hindu Arabic numerals. They're all Hindu numerals from Devanagari came down. And the bottom you see on the right side, bottom, all the numerals is the one letter. That's all it is. The representation is one letter. Whereas the Roman numerals are a bunch of letters. And then there is addition to that, there is a surprise thing is zero. That zero was very intriguing for Fibonacci. What this zero is doing it. This zero came from Indian background, is from a 2nd century, in fact. Brahmagupta is a 6th century man, but he did a actually base 10 decimal system. If he did that in the 600 AD, it's long before 600 before Fibonacci came into the picture. They were in India. They were doing the base 10 mathematics. So Brahmagupta was the author of this book, and then actually they did a carbon dating on one of the manuscripts. Before Brahmagupta, 2nd century, they found Indians are using a zero. Before that, Indians are good. We're good at it. How many chickens you have? You don't want to say nothing. So zero, it is going to be one in the future. So they invented zero. That is a very powerful concept of understanding zero. It made the entire difference. This is a pure brilliance of Indian sages. They came out with a zero. They call Sunya, in fact. So Fibonacci took this idea and then he learned the Indian mathematics through Arabs, Hindu mathematics, Hindu numerals, and then he wrote a first book. It is called Liber Abbasi, Book of Calculations. He wrote a first book in a Western mathematics book. Fibonacci has written the book Liber Abbasi. In this book, he said that he talked about Moda Sundaram, mother of Indians. They all zero. He introduced the concept of zero and base 10 to the Western, first time Western media, Western world, the exposure to the base 10 and the zero concept. It is just a stunning insight into the mathematics, the beginning of revolution in mathematics. So Fibonacci, then also he did something interesting. Fibonacci sequence. It looks very simple. Adding two numbers, 0, 1, you add the two numbers together, it becomes 1. Then 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 5 is 8, 8 plus 13 is 21. Just the last two numbers you were adding. It looks very obvious and simple, right? But I tell you, something divineness is there behind it. There is something behind the mystery there. I will explain that mystery, what that is. Nature follows that Fibonacci sequence extremely well. All the petals, for example, on the flowers, follow that numbers 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. Keep on going. If the more petals are there, they follow Fibonacci sequence. There is no 4 petals, either 5 or 8 or 13. The nature is following the Fibonacci sequence, even though it is simpler, but nature is following the one of the most powerful concept of sequence that is following. And not only in nature, you see in biology, in fact, you can, Dr. Vemuri can talk about it a little bit more than me, but the fingers that you see, that's a follow the ratio between the tubula and some of these differences between the fingers. If you measure from the elbow to all the way to the tip of the finger, it follows, the joints are following the Fibonacci sequence. In biology, you can see in biology also. But Fibonacci sequence, you can see in the stock market, for example, they call a Fibonacci retracement. They follow the Fibonacci sequence. How the stocks follow the way it works, the stocks. So they can buy. I don't know much about stock market, but people who follow stock market can understand the Fibonacci retracement. That's very good. The next one is Fibonacci sequence and ancestry. If we want to know who is your first man in your first genetic mutation came from, who is the first person in your lineage, you can only Fibonacci sequence going back to Fibonacci sequence can tell you how many generations ago you were the first mutation of that particular human being existed in your lineage. That is amazing. But the golden ratio is why it comes out of Fibonacci sequence. If you take after 5, ignore the after 5, any number, take that numbers, okay, and then divide by the previous number is a 1.6. That's a strange number. Doesn't make any sense. Any two numbers you take, 55 divided by 34, 89 divided by 55, 610 divided by 370, it always ends up in 1.6. That's called golden ratio, because nature, this golden ratio appears everywhere in the universe, everywhere in our planet. So golden ratio, the followed the most of the to look good, you need to follow golden ratio. That's why it was all the beauty comes from the aesthetics, come from the if you want to get the lips, then you have to have that golden ratio to be followed. So you see I showed you on the top where is that the ratio looks like 1 to 1 looks like that, 1 to 1.6 looks like that, 1.16 looks like that. That is a golden ratio. So you can do that entire and eyes. You can implement a golden ratio to the eyes. A lot of Koreans and all the Asians love these eye surgeries. So this is the golden ratio to follow, very common practice in all those countries. That's a Fibonacci's golden ratio. But the reason is all the Korean girls went to is that there is a wrong mathematics they went to. They went to the right Gangnam style, but the wrong mathematics because they did not follow proportion to their face. Well, that is a ratio they need to follow from this. What they did was they were following. They won't exactly look like a Charlene Choi she's an actress from Hong Kong, model from Hong Kong, a Canadian actress now. So they wanted to look like her. So that is just they didn't go for the golden ratio part of it of their own face. They want to look like somebody else. That's a misguided beauty. Beauty is actually, that should not be beauty is the eyes of the beholder. That's we cannot create kind of beauty. It comes from different ways. That's a very concept, So the next one, I want to tell you why the Fibonacci sequence can do. Fibonacci is going to be a new biomarker. If you take a phone, now you take a phone and a gait analysis you can do. You can take a phone and walk around, and you will eventually, this is still in the experimental stage and the studies are going on, it can tell you somebody has a Parkinson's disease or Alzheimer's or MS. Can you believe that? This is just walking with a phone, it can give you that information to you. Eventually, that's a Fibonacci mathematical sequences you can compute and can give you the new biomarker. Fibonacci is going to be a new biomarker, just a phone and artificial intelligence at the best. This is the best on a Fibonacci sequence. The next one is a Fibonacci new biomarker for breast cancer detection. It's just mind blowing. It's a Nature scientific journal, very prestigious Nature scientific journal, published a University of Cambridge study. In that one, if you see a normal cells division is one linear division. That's one divides into two, two divides into the other divides into two. So each cell divides further into two twos. But in the cancer situation, it's following the Fibonacci sequence. When there is a Fibonacci sequence, the cells division. If you find out, that means that's a kind of a malignant process. There's a malignant problem there. So you can detect by understanding the Fibonacci sequence on the breast situation. You can detect the breast cancer. Not they did actually. What they did was, you can do simple temperature patch. You can measure the variation in the temperature, then can detect whether that variation in the temperature through Fibonacci sequence, the new biomarker, you take it and then put that into the Fibonacci sequence, the mathematical algorithm. You will get, it is a malignant. Sometimes calcification look like they're also making looks like they are also problem, the suspicious problem there, the calcifications in the breast. But if this test will tell you whether something is malignant or not by just mathematics. Just measure the temperature in the Fibonacci sequence, takes the algorithm and goes through mu. Is a malignant or not, benign or malignant? You will know from the simple Fibonacci. That is the studies. That's the future of the healthcare. Strangely suggests. So you can replace eventually, MRI, CT scans, and all the mammograms, all those things, particularly for people who cannot afford. Dr. Vemuri is talking about things that people cannot afford. In the United States, we are having a problem. What about in the third world countries, the other countries, poor countries, Africa, parts of India, Pakistan, China? How can they afford all these things? So that's why the Fibonacci, the people like Fibonacci, that this kind of artificial intelligence, kind of a Fibonacci sequence, a golden ratio, you can measure, you can diagnose a lot of problems, and then this is going to be the new kind of a medical medicine where we need to embrace. So beauty of mathematics, that is the Fibonacci is died in 1270. 1240 he died. And then there's a statue in the Pisa. When you go to Leaning Tower, go and please see that tower also is a statue, not a leaning tower itself by itself. This man is a pure genius. With 1,000 years ago, he invented this mathematics. Now the surgeons and everybody is following it. And then now we can diagnose. You can reach millions of people with they can afford or not that healthcare big test that 1,000 years ago a man invented mathematics that is helpful today. Thank you for watching. Let me bring Dr. Vemuri back to the stage. Dr. Vemuri, what do you think?
That's very interesting. It's fascinating.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, sir. This is a new kind of things coming up now. I'm in Silicon Valley. People, AI things are doing the new models, new thinking. That's what is going to happen. As you say that you're struggling with this kind of a reaching more people and can give a affordable healthcare to everybody. We need a lot of innovations to help. Really, that is where the innovations value. So thank you. More than that, the music is always the epitome of intuition, epitome of intuition, sorry for my accent, but epitome of intuition. And then particularly Albert Einstein used to play in Switzerland. In fact, he took a citizenship in Switzerland. He used to play his violin in Switzerland. He was a big fan of the violin. Now you say cello, it looks like a violin to me, but it's a cello. Tell me the difference, and then start playing. And then allowed to. You have a master's in music. You went to the professional training on this one. So you want to give us a little introduction about this music and then play some songs for us, some music for us?
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, the cello is just a big violin. It's in the same family, and actually, the full name of the cello in Italian is violoncello. So
Uh-huh.
it's a violoncello. And then the middle instrument is the viola. It's kind of between the cello, and these are the string instruments that you see in an orchestra. You'll see the violin section, the cello section over here, second violin, and then in the middle, usually the viola. So this is a cello, and Bach, J.S. Bach, who I think everyone knows, he wrote 6 suites for the cello, and most cellists I think are very fond of his music, and I'm very fond of it, and I've spent my life playing his music, and so I want to play for you a little bit, maybe of the prelude, which is the first movement of his sixth suite. It goes on, but that's just a little sample.
You want to play one more piece for us?
Well, I can just continue.
No, continue, please. It's absolutely wonderful.
Oh, I forgot the rest. But it goes like this.
Beautiful. Yogi can do one more nice one. Anything you like.
No, that's it. I'm done.
Now you're done. Okay. Thank you so much. It is truly an honor to talk with you, sir. It is my privilege and honor. Actually, it was a feast for all of us. And then you gave a lot of ideas about that. I'm thinking about the new thinking about how you face the hospitals. Every other doctors, independent doctors could learn from you how you survive in that atmosphere, and then do your own passions like playing cello. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
Your pleasure. If you can.
We are retelling their stories through our patented designs that can be worn on scrubs, t-shirts, printed on conference bags, and endless other promotional materials. Daily Wear for Medicine is the first ever of its kind to create curiosity in medicine through visual art. We at MedBricks are celebrating unsung heroes of the past who made enormous contributions to the field of medicine through our unique campaign called Daily Wear for Medicine. You can wear it, carry it, and give it.